There should be no problems with the weather. Must have taken quite a bit out of him, that opening set, Federer mentally, so in some ways perhaps nice to just get a returning game under your belt to get yourself into this second set. And it will be the defending champion to start set number 2.
Well, Nadal certainly has another gear. And I think he's realized that he'll have to produce a little more aggressive tennis with Federer in this kind of form today, and that forehand an indication that perhaps he's going to go for a little more.
And the right play for Federer to take on that second serve. Such was the intensity of that opening set for all the way through. There's no surprise there's a little bit of a lull right now. Well, it didn't last for long, did it? Nadal with his first love service game, and a little treat for the crowd through the legs.
That's a good time to try it, isn't it, when you're up 40-love? I remember the Australian Open a year ago when Federer had a match point against Marat Safin and played a shot between his legs. Of course, he ended up losing the point and losing the match. This time, Nadal wins the point.
Well, I said there might be a bit of a lull, and probably more from the crowd than it will be Nadal. As you can see, he's already jogging around, eager to get on with it. And these are perhaps the most dangerous moments for Federer as well. Even in Monte Carlo, early on in the set when he got up a break in the fourth, he quite quickly handed it back, and I think it's very hard for him to just maintain the concentration that it takes to produce the sort of tennis he needs to beat Nadal. Won't be any panic yet for Nadal. When you think back to some of the finals he played, you said, Leaf, he was 3-love down, almost 4-love down in the fifth set here last year. He was 2 sets to love down in the final in Madrid last year to Ivan Ljubicic, and 2-love down in the fifth set there, a breakdown indoors against one of the world's best servers, and he still managed to find a way to win that.
Well, Nadal is opening up a little more here in the second set. No doubt about it. He's driving the ball as opposed to just rolling it back with spin. And although he's misfired, I think it's a sign that he's adjusting his tactics slightly.
Well, it was an interesting approach shot. It was almost slow enough for him to take up such a good position at net that there wasn't that much room in some ways for Nadal to see a way past Federer. And it's one game all.
Yeah, and again, Nadal was pretty much standing over there in the backhand corner, but Federer said, okay, you've got to beat me with the backhand. He did not want to attack the forehand. I think he knows what awaits him over there.
It's almost like a jog for Nadal, isn't it? I mean, it wasn't a bad change-up from Federer.
Yeah, he's on a wonderful first step. So powerful. Looked like a good drop shot, and it was, but not good enough for this man.
Well, a lot of players now trying to start off the rallies against Federer into that backhand wing, and saw it with now Bandy yesterday with the right hander just slicing it in there to get that return sort of straight back up the middle. And again today Nadal angling the majority of his first serves into that backhand. So 8 points in a row to start off this second set on serve for Nadal. Couldn't be more comfortable. 2-1. So a few Federer fans in the crowd, and quite a few Nadal ones as well. It's evenly split, and you would expect the crowd's loyalties perhaps just to start swinging towards the Spaniard. In the start they were all behind Roger, hoping that he was going to make a match of this, and he has certainly done that.
Thanks, brother.
His margins are quite small against Nadal. He actually hits most of his winners with quite a high margin for error, Federer, with the spin that he puts on it, but against Nadal that margin comes down considerably. And really exploiting where Nadal stands on the court there with that serve.
And I think he could do more of that. But having said that, Nadal anticipates that play from a right-hander. He sees it early and can surprise you. So you have to use it at the right times. Well, there are times in Federer's match with Almagro and times against Nalbandian where his first serve bailed him out of trouble. It's been an effective weapon for him here this week.
And Federer has only dropped just 2 points against his serve early on in this second set, so an encouraging start for him on serve still. And the world number one going to his bag for a new A. A lot of the time you see him actually get a racket out before one game before the new balls comes, but this time he's actually taken the racket out after he's served.
And these players are so skilled, and they have such an intimate relationship with their racket and the strings and the tension. Those strings drop a half a pound of tension, and they're aware of it. So clearly he felt like that service game, although the serve came off the strings nicely, he needed to tighten it up for the ground strokes here on the return.
Same company that strings Roger Federer's rackets. It strings Tim Hemmons, travel around the world to the Master Series and to the 4 Grand Slams. Off the tape. It's the same string company, people that Pete Sampras used to use, Nate Ferguson and Ron Yu. Nothing left to chance for these top guys.
I thought he broke a string, and I was not even sure he was aware of that. He was so concentrating on the shot.
There's 10 points in a row in this set and 13 overall now on serve for Nadal. Of course, I completely forgotten about the tie break, so that didn't really count, so we'll go back. 11 points in a row.
Well, either way, it's a certain nice turn for Nadal, isn't it? That he's been so dominant on serve. But remember, all it takes is one good return game, and this match can change quickly.
Well, earlier in the day that Leif and I were donning our anoraks and looking at some of Ball's sensational statistics, and one of them that stood out was he won 19 consecutive service points against McEnroe in that 1980 Wimbledon final.
Yeah, they're amazing. He's one of the most amazing players of all time. Of course, it wasn't bad, the 33 Davis Cup matches in a row either before retiring.
3 consecutive service games for Nadal. 3-2 he leads. Such a historical event, the Italian Open. And so many great champions have passed, but not always a great indicator of who's going to win the French Open in recent years. Nadal obviously did it last year, did the double here in Rome, and then you had to go back to Gustavo Kuerten in 2001 here in Rome, and then at the French Open, and then all the way back to Wilander in '88 and Lendl in '87. So for the entire 90s, it wasn't a really good litmus test of who was going to win in Paris.
Well, this amazing run by Nadal, it's created a wonderful trivia question. It's made a Russian fairly famous over the last year or so with this clay court streak. Who was the last player to beat Nadal on clay? Yeah, that's too good. Of course, the other famous tennis player will be the man who stops the streak. And of course, Federer trying to make that happen today. Mark, you know who that Russian is who last beat Federer in Valencia in 2005. Excuse me, beat Nadal, yes.
Yeah, Igor Andreev, who unfortunately is out of the French Open with a knee injury. What a year he had in 2005. In the same way that Ilie Nastase was made famous for stopping the run with Guillermo Vilas, but in slightly strange circumstances.
Yeah, Aix-en-Provence, in the middle of the match, he retired. Just unhappy with the equipment that Nastase was using.
Federer delivering a love service game of his own, and Nastase had that spaghetti string.
Yeah, it actually, you have two bands of string interwoven, and immediately after that tournament they outlawed that stringing technology or technique, and of course Vilas went on a 23-match win streak after that. So had he not retired and somehow gotten past Nastase, it could have been a 76-match win streak. Great year for Vilas, 1977, when all that good stuff happened. There's Vilas with a house in Thailand. He was asked about this run. He said Nadal will probably break it. Now, there have been moments today when Nadal has produced unforced errors that are uncharacteristic. I don't think we've seen him play his best tennis yet. Certainly it's been a high standard, but as he said, I have yet to find my top. I guess he feels that his growth and his improvement as a player is limitless.
Oh, how was that weather? There's a mini cyclone just blew through the 4-hour cap.
You can see it. You can see his jersey moving, and look at the people behind him covering their faces from the clay flying in the air.
I think you could have taken it above 100 miles an hour if you'd have hit a serve with that gust. Well, he's got him rattled at the moment, there's no doubt, Federer. And as you said, Leif, he looked as though he was going to be a little bit more aggressive at the start of this second set, but that hasn't really materialised. Don't think Federer can blame the elements for that one.
And almost the kind of serve that required a nice heavy underspin. Boy, that's tough to play a flicky backhand up high like that. Meeting topspin with topspin, very tough.
halfway through this second set, and this is a huge point for both players. Well, that's one of the best outswinging serves I think I've seen, and I think it got a little bit of the line which aided it. And in fact, Nadal just apologising for that. Couldn't make anything happen there. 15-30, a little bit of a let off for Nadal. He's still not found, as he said earlier, his top. And he's in front, 4-3. Look at Rafael Nadal's racket and strings, and one of the few players that doesn't use one of the leading brands of synthetic strings on there that came on about sort of 4 or 5 years ago. Always use that string that he has. It's not necessarily one of the best strings on the tour, but hey, when you're as strong as Nadal, it doesn't seem to matter. He likes to feel, and it served him well.
Yeah, he really wants a string that's durable, because he plays with so much spin, and a lot of times on clay where it'll wear away at the string. It's got piano wire in there. Well, Federer said in his semi-final against Nalbandian, which is a very tight match, the fact that he was ahead in the score, a big factor in that final set. Here he is playing behind in the second. It's a little different bit of pressure, always having to serve to catch up.
Oh, that's a wonderful shot, and not easy to produce from up there and out wide. And also against a man like Nadal, who so often just chases this down. Federer has held serve pretty comfortably today, apart from the once that he got broken in the first set, once he had actually achieved a break of serve against Nadal. But all of a sudden it's Federer going on a run of service points held. That's 11 in total now for the world number one. And that just alleviating the pressure in his own service games, but also allowing him a little bit of time to relax and then really get his teeth into Nadal's serve.
Yeah, this really is a big moment. You almost would like to see from Federer a little bit of that passion, some energy, you know, get himself up to that gear that is required to make the breakthrough. Of course, you always can expect Nadal to have that passion. But perhaps, you know, Federer needs to do something a little bit more here, just to send those signals and get the body moving. Well, there's a point in a rally where you sense that you're in trouble and you can't go back to just staying on even terms, that you need to go for something big. And Federer that time sensing that he was in a bit of trouble out there on the forehand wing.
And that was a little bit of a bad bounce in a game that Federer really wanted to try and achieve something in the opening 2 points of it, to put some pressure on. It hasn't happened at all. one little wobble that Nadal had on his serve, down 15-30 in the previous game. Both men have been clinical on serve in this second set, and you can see that's reflected in those first serve points won statistic. And a third love service game for Nadal right at the end of the second set to push the pressure back on Federer. 5-4. It's a real art managing yourself over 5 sets, and Nadal, perhaps more than any other teenager in the past, has understood how to go with the flow, if you like, and know when to really step it up on the intensity level and when to sort of just being able to sort of back off and cruise through a match. And right now he knows this is the moment he wants to strike.
He likes to keep that baseline tidy. His many rituals before he begins play. Always meticulous about his socks.
Well, wanting to do something and actually getting it done is proving to be a bit of a problem for Nadal in this second set on the return. Federer forcing Nadal to make one of the longest runs that you can on a tennis court.
We talked a little bit about Federer having these difficult matches prior to this championship. And I'm wondering whether Nadal, he's had some very easy matches where he hasn't been challenged. An advantage for either player, you think?
Yeah, easy in the end, and no, Nadal responds with a drop shot of his own. And I think, going back to your point, Leif, I think in some ways, yeah, I think maybe it has been a little bit of advantage for Federer because he's had to come through some clutch points already in a couple of matches, so therefore he's already tuned into them.
Yeah, it's, you know, he manages those important moments better because he's had to face more of them. Of course, the disadvantage would be the fatigue factor.
Well, the backhand cross for me has been a bit of a revelation for Federer today, and I mean, he really struggled in Monte Carlo to hurt Nadal with that particular shot. And whether that's partly the surface or he's just got a little bit more on it today, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's Tony Roach saying, hey, mate, you've got to take that ball on the rise. You've got to get your body weight on that to change the direction and play through that heavy spin.
It's turning into Federer's toughest service game of the second set, yet to be taken to 30. Now he's pushed it wide, and Nadal, when he gets the opportunity, just asking the question of Federer's volleys or half volleys. And First time in a match that Federer's been taking a deuce on serve.
And it's so difficult to play a half volley on clay. Nadal making that forehand dip at Federer's feet.
Well, an extraordinary shot, miss, call it what you want, bad bounce, but what a moment for it to happen. An anxious Tony Roach, as well he might be. Out of the blue, set point Nadal to level it up. A lunge and volley from Federer. The set on the line.
Oh, what a play. How he found an outside edge and was able to control it enough. This looked like a good enough volley, but then he had to come up with this. He knows it. Saved him the set.
Not even Nadal can drag that in. Royal approval for Federer to escape from that game.
Wasn't it funny, Mark? We were just saying moments ago how this set had been a bit unspectacular. Then a couple of points, Federer looking to cruise at 40-15. Boy, suddenly down set points. It was getting very tense. And you can hear it in this crowd here at the Foro Italico.
And do you think there is some merit in tennis perhaps looking at changing its scoring system to go to 4 games? Because again, it's a big moment, it's end of the set. The first 6 games of this set, although good, didn't have the same bite to them, but a shorter set would create those moments a little sooner.
Yeah, I'd hate to do it. I think this championship format is just ask the most of these players, and they need to deliver to do it.
Doesn't usually dwell on missed opportunities. You wonder whether he's just starting to feel as though this isn't going to be his day. You feel that thought has never entered Nadal's mind.
Nadal is a real grinder from the back of the court, but behind him the score, suddenly he just accelerates his forehand, dictates play, and here he uses his speed, and he's got some finishing touches at the net. Watch this acceleration. Zip. And equally as fast to the net. Now these men are so skilled. Nadal putting that ball right on the line, a ginormous point. 5-all, 15-all, and he draws the line.
Anything short of a length, and that one obviously mishit by Federer, punished by Nadal. Federer can't hook it back in, and Nadal, who's dropped just 5 points on serve this set, leads 6-5. As excited as this crowd is, there's almost a collective holding of breath at the moment just to see which way this match is going to tilt. Is it going to go firmly in Federer's favour, 2 sets to love up, and a chance of getting some revenge over the teenage prodigy, or is Nadal going to be able to square things up at 7 apiece, and all the hard work, all the energy that Federer's invested in almost 2 hours in this final is going to come back to leave him at all level? Monaco under the spotlight here to find the mark, which he does. It's in.
Well, tense moments for the players, but tense moments also for the linesmen and lineswomen who have to deal with difficult calls like that. So Grillotti wisely out of the chair to overrule.
And another phenomenal stretch by Federer.
Yeah, he's so loose, isn't he? So limber that he can make these lunges even when his feet aren't really there. I mean, look at the stretch and the slide simultaneously.
And you almost feel that in the opening couple of games when he came in and Nadal passed him up the line, he sort of let him have those couple, and when it's come to the big points, he's almost been covering the line, expected Nadal to go there, which is what saved him when he was set point down.
And that's good straight ahead tennis. He used what Nadal gave him, the short return. Something of a pleasing look from Tony Roach, happy with his man's play.
That's just the 7th point Federer's lost on serve in this set, and when you consider he lost 4 of them in one game. Again, an impressive stat.
It really is a different set, isn't it, from the opening set? It's really been dominant by serve.
So it's going to be another tiebreaker to decide the outcome of the second set.
Does this have the feel, Mark, of that US Open final we called between Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras? A few tiebreakers played that day.
Starting to get that feel, and almost starting to feel as though this match might eclipse the length of time that Correa against Nadal was last year. The longest ever final in Open here, 5 hours and 14 minutes. Yet to win a point in the tiebreak. He lost 7-love in the opening set. He's down a mini break early on. And the forehand hasn't been as good as it's needed to be.
And in the tiebreaker, neither has his serve. He hasn't really come through with the kind of serving you need in a breaker to give you something to dominate play with.
That is brilliant. It's absolutely world class from Federer. He had to run a mile to get that slice on his forehand.
Now you've got to let the pictures tell the story here.
Well, he's shown all week that he has improved his net game and that he's very accomplished around the net, but that miss surely just down to the pressure of the moment.
And I think he sensed that Federer was making a move to that part of the court. He just snatched at the volley a little bit, and again, once he's up in the air, his security is lost. He has such a good foundation with his legs, and this is real trouble for Nadal.
Well, that's what he did there, Leith, that you were talking about earlier. He hasn't been able to do in the tiebreaker. Make a quality first serve and get a free point. Closes the gap to 1. It's too short from Nadal, and Federer's forehand has been in perfect working order throughout this final.
Yeah, Nadal doesn't give you many cues of his disappointment, but you could really see there that he was disappointed and trying to shake it off. And again, perhaps if the water bottles are aligned just right, his fortunes will change. Of course, this man, His uncle has not lost faith.
So Federer extending his lead to 2 points. Well, he saw an opening not too many players would have done. And unfortunately for the world number one, he just couldn't find the target. Nadal, who's been down a mini break twice in this second set tiebreak, is back on serve. No complaints from Federer. He knew it just travelled over Nadal's baseline. Four points apiece. And again, the baseline and Nadal just eluding Federer.
Well, suddenly Nadal's ground strokes have depth and penetration, and Federer is unable to dominate the rally. He's unable to find something that he can really sink his teeth into. And instead, he's come up with some errors, and Nadal is ahead 5-4.
And it's Nadal's turn to miss. Oh no! What a moment to produce one of your worst forehands of the match. It's been so solid, so effective. And
yeah, you can't ask for a better ball. That's the one he wanted. It landed inside the service line and just not moving to the ball as quickly as he's known to move. And it cost him.
And the pressure in this set telling on Federer. Nadal with his second set point. Oh, and he's won it. Extraordinary circumstances. He nearly fell over in the middle of that point, and Federer couldn't find the pass, and we're at set all.